Hey there, this is Catherine Cartwright. Welcome. Today I'm going to be working with some products from Gina K. This is the Spring Clusters Stamp and Die Set. I got this, I think this was in a kit a few months ago, and so I wanted to pull it out and check it out. And then also there is a stencil that coordinates with it that was included. I'm pretty sure this is in the kit, was all in a kit. And if it's available for sale, I'll link it in the description, but I'm pretty confident this was in a kit. But I wanted to try it out because I haven't used her stencils with stamps like this. So I wanted to pull it out. I got some dies and I'm just putting them on the little board here. And then it's got these beautiful little bouquets here with spring right around the corner. I wanted to make some spring inspired cards. And then here are these stencils. I think it's a three pack of stencils, and these I'm assuming are going to coordinate with these stamps on the right. So I'm going to, they've got the numbers on there, Spring Clusters 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to jump right into this, okay? So I am going to stamp some of these clusters. I'm going to use a couple of different inks. I've got the amalgam ink, from Gina K. Obsidian is my favorite one, and I'm just trying to fit these on here. And I'm going to stamp a bunch of these off camera too. And then I'm also going to use Skeleton Leaves and Warm Glow, which are more like a no line color, because you could color these if you wanted to. If you don't have the stencil, you could just color them. But I wanted to try them with my grip mat and then the stencil. So I'm just looking to see which of these is going to coordinate with which of them. So this one obviously goes with that little cluster, and then this one, there's some pieces here, the flower and then the leaves. So this has got to be the one that belongs on this first one. So I've got my grip mat here from Diamond Press. I've got this on my glass mat, and I'm just trying to line this up. And I am going to use Distress ink. My Distress ink has been getting a lot of workout lately. And so I think this first one is Skeleton Leaves. And then I'm going to use the Warm Glow, which is a little bit of a different shade. You can see those ink pads on the left. And so then I'm just going to move to the next color. You could rinse these off if you wanted to in between, but I think there's enough space between that I'm not worried about mixing colors. Also, since I'm die cutting, I'm going to be die cutting these clusters. I don't have to worry as much if I get ink outside of the image because it's going to be die cut anyway. All right, so that first one I used Kitsch Flamingo, and then I'm just trying to make my decisions. I felt a little indecisive making my choices today in the craft room. This is shaded Lilac, which has become a popular shade in my craft room. I like the purple a lot. And so I'm just checking to make sure I've got it where it needs to go. And using this grip mat, it keeps the stencils from flying around, which is really nice. Okay. And then I'm going to work on the greenery. And this lines up really well so I can see you kind of have to be over it. It's a little bit of a glare. But once you see it covered, then you know you're in the right spot. So I really love layering stencils. It's a very popular trend in card making, which I really enjoy a lot. And I've used some recently from Michael's. I've seen a bunch at that store, my local store, and I've had a couple of videos on those. So if you're interested in laying stencils from Michael's, be sure and check out in the playlist. You'll see them. Okay. And so then I just had to kind of turn this around to find the right flower here. And I'm going to press that down pretty well. And I'm going to tape this down just a little bit because there is some of the other stencil portion exposed. And like I have said in videos before, I am the one who doesn't mask off and think her skills are so great. And then suddenly I have stenciled everywhere I don't need to stencil. So I'm trying to lead a little more by a better example with the masking. Okay. And I'm using Abandoned Coral, which is one of my very favorite distress colors. And this looks really pretty with this ink. And this one is the Warm Glow ink. And I think at the end of this video, that ended up being my favorite one. It just looks really pretty with the kind of warm colors. And it gives you this cool look. So I'm enjoying that. All right, so I'm going to finish doing these other flowers, and then there's a little single flower. There's also some berries, and I think in this stencil I discovered the berries are on a different stencil. But if you order the pack of the spring clusters, then you get all of them together and it works beautifully with the stamps. Okay, and then here is this little flower, this bud opening up, and so I'm going to stencil that one too. And if you wanted to do different colors and shading with these stencils, you certainly could. I'm just keeping these to one color to make it pretty easy. All right, and so that looks really good. I'm so happy with that color. And then I'm just looking for the rest of the stencil part that has the foliage here, and I'm going to probably choose Mowed Lawn. I think I used Mowed Lawn from Distress throughout the whole thing just to keep it uniform, but also it's my favorite green from Tim Holtz. So I'm going to just ink this up, and really quickly, you can see how fast this goes. I did speed the video up a little bit, so you didn't have to watch too long, but I'm going to do all three of these clusters, and then the green is just so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to finish that up, and then, like I said, the berries are on a different stencil, and I should have probably paid attention to the numbers, but honestly, it's very self-explanatory. So you can see here are the the little clusters of 2 berries and 3 berries. And so I'm going to use some red on this, but you can make them any color that you wanted to. Okay. And the reason I did some different colors of the stencil instead of just black, I wanted to see how they looked. And having the ability to stencil this stamp set, you can use other colors. And since these don't, you can use watercolor and Copics with these inks. You have the flexibility to use a lot of different mediums. So I like that I can do that with the stencil. All right, and then here is the third one that I've got ready, and very pretty. And this one will be really quick because there's only one flower. I just have to find the right way, and then when I find it, I can press that down. And this is Spring Clusters number 3. Okay, and I'm going to use a little bit of tape just to cover a smidge of that. It's probably not necessary, and I probably should have covered the other side where there's still a little bit, but since there was just one flower, I felt confident that I wouldn't make too much of a mess. And I'm using Villainous Potion on that, my favorite bright purple that he has. He has a couple of bright ones. And then I'm just wiping the stencil off, spraying it down. I usually keep a little microfiber towel and a spray bottle like that to quickly clean up between stencils if I need to. Otherwise, I just kind of save them for the end, and then I'll wash them in a sink. But that's just a quick way. It keeps the lint off too by using a towel like that, a microfiber. And I just keep these around. I use them for watercoloring. I use them to clean up spills. And then eventually when my grip mat gets a little dirty or maybe not quite as sticky, I'll spray it down, and I'll use that towel too to wipe it up, and that kind of brings the tack back, I should say. All right, now I'm ready to move on here with some Mowed Lawn onto this last beautiful little cluster. So these are really fun. And I guess I could use the Fuse stuff too. I just got that in the mail, and I have not used it yet. The Fuse Gel, I think it's called, from Gina K. And I have not had a chance to try it out, but it is definitely on the list. Okay, I've got some stencil butter here from Crafter's Workshop that I enjoy, and I put this on a little bit thick. I was trying to be careful not to smush it, so I kept it a little bit thick. I didn't want to work it too much, and it's called Dune. It's kind of a gold, but more of a yellow color to it. So I'll let that dry, and then I will die cut that. Okay, so here are the 3. I went ahead and made some quick, easy cards using the stamp set, and then I had a couple of circle dies, and this paper pad I got is from Park Lane, and here is that beautiful one. And I worried that the paste might get kind of dented, so to speak, using it through my die cutting machine, but it turned out to be a-okay. So that was great. And then I just used a scalloped square on that middle one, but that paper pad is from Park Lane, which I got at Joann's, which I know is going out of business, but it was a beautiful spring paper pad, so I decided it worked well with the spring clusters. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you have a favorite card. If you have tried out this stenciling, layered stencils from Gina K, let me know what you think. Have a great day.